What's going on, peoples? Welcome into the TM 10-Minute Talk podcast. If you're new and you like hearing different points of view on society, different insight, go ahead and hit the subscribe button because that's what I do here. And if you're not new, thank you for joining me again. Welcome in. If you like this video, consider sending the like button a little flirtatious drink because she's at the end of the bar looking lonely. All right, so today we're going to be looking at pros and cons, an updated list for President Trump. But first, before we do that, I want to update this list of tiers. For those who don't know, the list of tiers is pretty much a list of complaints and gripes about Donald Trump that I feel are either inaccurate or just silly or, is just stuff that I think people are over exaggerating. And at some point, I want to get a whiteboard. I just got to figure out how to fit it on camera. Maybe I need to get a second camera. We'll figure it out. But I want to add, because I didn't have this on there before. I don't know. Lord help me. How did I forget this one? Racist. I needed to add that to the list. And new one from this week. He kisses up to Putin. So this one is kind of silly because people will say he kisses up to Putin. They won't have that energy for China. And it's like, at least be consistent. You can't say that you're upset about things when they happen from one country but not with the other country. China is not our ally either. So why would we kiss up to China if that was true? If what you're saying, he kisses up to Putin, so you should have a problem with anybody kissing up to China. And God knows he doesn't do that. But anyways, I feel like this is a silly claim because no, he doesn't kiss up to Putin, but he is willing to do a little bit of business with Russia, which is okay. Why would we do all our business with China? Doesn't make any sense. And he's not the only president. He wasn't the only candidate that was going to do this. And I need to make this statement before I get too deep into this conversation. At this point, we are 1 month into Trump's presidency. It is already an unequivocal fact that Donald Trump was far and away the best option that we could have selected this presidential cycle. There was no one even close. Not even my first choice, Vivek. I don't think he would have done as good of a job so far. I think it's not even up for debate who the best option was. And again, I like Vivek. He would have, done business with Russia too, which is okay. But there's no way. There's absolutely no way he would have done as good with as much as Donald Trump has done. There's just no comparison. If you want to try and make a case for that, I'll listen, but you just can't by any observable metric. And then you got people like Brian Tyler Cohen who get up there with an audience of 4 million and talk about, oh, the economy was better under Biden's presidency than under Trump's. And I don't know how anybody could take him seriously after saying something like that. I just don't. I'm a man, and I base most of my opinions off of the numbers, off of data, observable metrics. And so I don't care what someone might feel or say about a president because I have eyes. I have eyes. And for him to get up there and actually think and say these things is just the most asinine thing I've seen. But anyways, I'll keep it going with my additions. List of tiers. Addition. Third one of today, DEI. People are crying that DEI has been done away with on the federal level. And here's another thing that I have to say so that people get an understanding of where I'm coming from. Good and bad decisions have good and bad consequences, and there's always collateral damage. Even something good can have a negative effect attached to it. So we have to get out of this mindset of thinking that, oh, blanketly, one decision is good, one decision is bad. It is the case sometimes, but a lot of these decisions, for example, mass deportation, I'm not a fan of it, but it has, some good things associated with it and some negative effects associated with it. A good effect, you get rid of violent criminals. Okay, cool. A negative effect, collateral damage, you end up deporting people who probably shouldn't have been deported, or people who weren't criminals, but they're here, and they get deported anyways. That's what they're doing right now. You know, it's just, you got to live with it. You got to roll with it. It's not, at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world. So if some people, good people, bad people, who cares? Some people lose their job over DEI getting wiped out. It's like, okay, it shouldn't have been there in the first place. So what, are you just not going to get rid of it because some people will be negatively affected? No, it's the same way I feel about all these, social programs, the Medicaid, the Medicare, all this stuff. It's like Social Security. Just get rid of the thing. I know that some people are going to be negatively affected, but in the long run, the overall health of the country will be better off. It's sad, but that's why these decisions need to be made by a strong leader, and they can't be emotional about it because there's things we have to get done. We're a country. So, next edition, Elon, just Elon. Oh, we don't want him with our personal information, even though we're completely okay with China having it. We're completely okay with the legislators and the officials before Elon came in. We're okay with them having it. But him, no, he's a billionaire. You know, his moral compass is questionable, so he shouldn't be trusted with this information. Look, again, is there some negative effects to decisions that are made? Yes. But do those decisions still need to be made? Yes. You have to. The guy is already, according to him, saving money. So if he is doing what he says he is doing, if the Trump administration is holding people accountable, you have to be okay with some of the negative effects that come with that, such as, maybe your information is in the hands of someone whose morality is up to question right now. You just, man, like, nobody cared before. And so why are you going to care now? You didn't care about TikTok having your information. Why do you care now? Everybody wants TikTok back. But it's like, you guys can't be consistent. And this is why your grievance is on the list of tiers. It's inconsistent. You can't cry about my information and give your information out. It just doesn't work for me. And then, oh my God, I got to add to the list. He went to the Super Bowl. Of all the dumbest things to be added on the list. And what is the real argument there? Like, a president can't go to a Super Bowl? Oh, you wanted him to meet with the plane crash victims' families. Are you serious? Like, are they going to meet at 8 p.m. on a Sunday night? What are we talking about? First of all. Second of all, he already said he would meet with the with the families. Third of all, guess who visited the storm victims in North Carolina and that region just a few months ago when the storm came and took people's homes and everything? And who gave them furnished apartments? Trump and Elon did that. And you don't hear nobody talking about that. But oh my gosh, God forbid he goes to a Super Bowl. Like, come on, man. Just silly. Just silly. So, with that being said, now I don't know what to start with first. Do I do the pros or the cons first? Let's start with the pros first. And then we'll get to the cons. And I have some legitimate concerns. This is all just my opinion. It is what it is. Everybody's going to have different opinions. You know, cry about it in the comment section like they did on my other video. I don't care. Let's do it, man. We're going to get into the pros first, and we're going to save the good stuff for the end, because I know people love the negativity. They love, but my list is not going to be what you think it's going to say. So, should already know that by now. So, starting off with the good things, and this is an updated list. So, this is, more recent stuff. Stood up to the World Economic Forum. Not much comment from me on this one. This is just reestablishing America as independent, dominant. What's the word I'm thinking of? Help me out. Sovereign, that's the word. Nation that we are. No more of this, nonsense that the rest of the world has got going on. No more of that for the most part. I got some stuff to get into, but for the most part, CDC, all this, all this U.S. involvement in stuff that harms us and we get no benefit, we are finished with that. In general, again, generally speaking, this is the tone that we are setting. Next, got rid of DEI. My gosh, again, it was on the list of tiers. I think this is one of the great things. Now, again, there's some negative to it, collateral damage. It is what it is. It needed to go. And really, all the people who want to argue with me about the merits of DEI and all the good it's done, well, to you, I just want to ask you, how come the biggest recipients and benefactor of DEI is white women? I'll leave it at that because I don't think you have a good answer for me. Next. And the other thing is, I've come around on Rooney Rules. I'm more open-minded now than I have been. I feel like it depends on the scenario, the industry, but I think there is a very good replacement for DEI that actually does what it says it does, but I don't think we've completely tapped into that yet. And again, I think Rooney Rules have come the closest to doing that, so I'm more open-minded with that right now. But DEI, I don't feel as if that tapped into it. And a lot of very, educated, smart people, intelligent people of different races believe the same thing and say the same thing. So don't fight me. All right. Oh yeah. So next on this list, executive order from the president to stop government censorship. This was an excellent decision. Why anybody would be okay with government or even private or censorship of any kind is beyond me. I don't know why anybody would be okay with that. However, I think out of everything on my list, out of all the things, I think censorship would be the most likely to make a comeback at some point. I don't know that this will last. There's just too many people who have way too much money that have a way of silencing people, whether it's literal censorship or just by overwhelming influence and that type of thing. Shoot, even Elon, and trust me, I don't know Elon from the ground that I step on, but I think at any opportunity, I don't put it past him to silence somebody or censor somebody on a personal level because something he did. I wouldn't put it past him. You have that much money, that's what they do, you know? But on the government level, it never should have happened. The next thing that I think was good is that he cleaned house pretty effectively. And just recently, he fired a bunch of Pentagon employees and that type of thing. A bunch of military leaders who were, promulgating, if not at least silent to the woke nonsense. And so I think he's done a really good job with that. Now, time for the concerns. And I got some. I'm going to keep beating this one over the head. Military spending. I think that he spends too much on military, and it's just a concern. Right now, he hasn't gone crazy yet, but just keep your eye out. We'll see what happens. Space spending, similar thing. Not because of past performance, but because of Elon and what he said he's going to do. So far, he's been keeping his word. And one of the things he said is that he's going to put the U.S. on Mars, a U.S. citizen on Mars, something like that, something to that effect. He also said that he's going to appoint, forget the gentleman's name, but he's going to appoint a department to oversee the military to ensure that wokeness never returns to it. So I don't know if he did that yet, but I'm just saying the space spending is a legitimate concern by me. Now, if you tell me that, okay, Elon through what is it called, Doge? Elon through Doge has saved us 6 trillion, and he wants to spend 1 trillion on space. Okay, whatever. But if he starts spending, if we go into massive debt because of space spending, it's going to be the dumbest thing I've ever seen. So, next, a lot of people are going to like this one. Excessive law enforcement pardoning. Now, this is a concern list. It's not necessarily stuff that he has done, but I'm saying the concern is there based on stuff that he has said. You can't just give every officer immunity. They don't need it. We've got millions of capable citizens who can do the job. It's not like the president. There's only a couple people that can do it. You got to give them a certain amount of immunity. So I'm just putting it out there as a concern. Gifts. Underrated concern. He's getting gifts from all types of places, and people like to get returns on their investments. I got to be fair here. I can't criticize Democrats for accepting money from Ukraine and China, and then, Trump gets all these gifts and not be concerned that he might take these gifts and his policies might reflect, enhancing the influence of these gifts. You see what I'm saying? So, and I'm going to get into that in just a second because he's getting all this money from Elon, from Jewish families, Jewish organizations. How could it not be a concern that his policy, when it comes to things that these people want, is going to be influenced? So that's a concern, and not only a concern, it's actually a serious problem. Everyone in his cabinet, Zionist, all of his staff, not all of his staff, but a lot of his staff persuaded a certain way. And so it's already a problem. And think about this. He's already getting up there, shaking hands with, and buddy with Netanyahu, who's wanted in his own country. He's a wanted criminal, and I'm shocked he still has a position right now. But there's a reason why he still has a position. And there's a reason why this is one of the first things that Trump addressed. And sadly, the sad reality is that, again, Trump was unequivocally the best option. Every other option would have done something similar. I watched the Republican debates. Everybody got up on that stage and said similar things about how they would interact with Israel and Netanyahu. There was no voice that had a differing opinion. They all were just singing the same song. So, again, and we already know what the other side would be doing. So, without doubt, I think this last one is by far the worst and egregious offense. By far. Oh my gosh. Do we realize that he actually got up on the stage and actually said that he's going to send U.S. troops to go and facilitate the uprooting of a people? I don't know how you top this. This is by far, to me, the worst part about President Trump. By far. The only thing I can say is that I saw all of this coming. And if you listen to my previous videos about my election predictions, you'll notice the only hesitation I had about predicting a President Trump victory was the fact that Harris was taking credit for killing Hamas leaders and, taking over the Middle East, that kind of thing. It was the only hesitation I had. And so it's both sides that want the same thing, and it's unfortunate, but again, Trump was the best choice. He is the best choice, and he will continue being the best choice until further notice. And people are the questions about the economic welfare are so confusing to me. Where is this coming from? Like, since when do we take the first month of an elected official and say that everything going on has to do with them? I put this in videos months ago. I said that I don't think the economy is going to do well either way, and that had more to do with the Federal Reserve than an elected official. So this was my prediction. Now, 4 years from now, shoot, I'll even give you 2 years from now, if the economy is trash, I just have to change how I feel about, Trump. Again, I wouldn't change my vote because at the time he had done a good job. If he stops doing a good job, then I got to say he's no longer doing a good job. But this first year, you can't just say, oh, the economy prices didn't drop in half. They weren't cut in half. So look at your guy, Trump, your savior. Like, no, we didn't do this for Biden when he inherited a good economy. We didn't do that for him. We say, oh, Trump, COVID happened and the markets, everything crashed. We don't give Trump credit for the recovery while he was still president. We give that all to Biden for whatever reason. I don't know. But this is just the silliest cognitive dissonance where we just say, okay, day one, you get in, things should instantly change. That's never happened. That's never happened. And people don't even bring up what the Federal Reserve has done in the past 3 months, which is the silliest thing in the world to me. It's like everybody just overnight became an economist. No, you didn't. You don't know what you're talking about. How are you just going to give all the blame to one person for the prices when he's been in for 1 month? Like, it don't even sound right. Now I'll give you 2 years, like at least 1 year or 6 months. They don't even give him 100 days, at least, because the first 100 days usually sets the tone for a presidency. They didn't even give him 100 days yet, and they're complaining about prices. Like, come on, are you dumb or are you dumb? People talking about tariffs, they don't know a first thing. And if tariffs were so bad, why was our economy so strong the last time Trump was president? Explain that to me. Again, Trump's not perfect. He's not. I can't even swear that he's a good man. I don't know him personally. I just know numbers, metrics, and they all say that he had a good presidency his first time. So you got to give him benefit of the doubt the second time. He's already done great things. Again, I told you my concerns, and so far only one of them has resulted in a serious negative action. And there's some things I don't agree with, but I don't think those are concerns that we need to lose sleep over. It's just regular business. And again, guess what? I predicted a full Trump victory months ago. But not only did I get a Trump victory, Republicans won the House, they won the Senate, and as if we even needed it, Republicans this go round dominated the governor positions. So, sometimes we're right, sometimes we're wrong. I was right about that. But I want to end this with another prediction because as a New Yorker, I'm just going to throw this out there. Kathy Hochul is not going to make it through a full term. My prediction. I could be wrong, but Kathy Hochul will not make it through a full term as acting governor of New York. From day one, people were against her, understandably so. She was interim governor, didn't do a good job. She was elected and did not do a good job. We are years in, and now the media outlets are turning against her. So I think that she's not going to make it, given everything that's going on in New York, given how high the turnover rate for these positions are becoming nowadays. I don't think she's going to make it. So with that being said, till next time, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. See ya.